really mean. Hi, Rajee. How are you? It's so good to see you. Welcome back, girl. Reality versus sex. For me, when I transitioned, I'm just gonna keep it 1000% real. I had to learn from women. MJ has known me from day one. She gave me my first weed. We've talked about this on our shows in the past. I was in my was I in my own apartment or I was in my mom's house? I can't really remember. But I was in my mom's house and I was like, you know what? I want to weave. I went and bought this hair, girl. I transitioned my sophomore year of high school. And I said, you know what, girl? I want to weave. And Miss Merjhani sewed my weave, and girl, my mother came in the room and said, what is going on? And I said, my hair. And girl paid it ever since then. But I had influences like Merjhani. I've had influences like my friend Anna. I've had tons of like women friends. I was pretty popular in high school, not necessarily because I had money or extravagance, because I was like a free bird and everybody wanted to be my friend because they couldn't believe that I was at that time in my life gay or male and just very expressive and carefree. I paid it. And people were like, oh, you gay or a faggot. I was like, oh yeah? Oh, okay. And I would pay it. Like I never, for some reason, I never felt offended per se. For one, I guess it was because I was maybe raised by men. My great grandmother and her brother's sons had a huge impact on my life. They used to say things like, if you're gonna be gay, well, you're gonna be a working gay. So like I would have to work. So basically, just because you gay don't mean you can't rake these leaves. Get this rake and start raking. So like I had to work. And I think that upbringing is why I may have had a little bit more confidence. And again, I had to learn from women how to be a woman. And I feel like that is very important. When you erase women, I feel like you're erasing an existence. My mother's a woman, my aunts were women, my cousins were women. And there was a difference when I would see them. They would get ready, they would get their hair done, I would get a haircut, they would get borets, I would wear a little outfit, they would wear a dress. There was a difference, and that's okay. That's the beauty of the world. Ladies, what do you think?
I think I came into the world with a very feminine spirit and soul, and I was playing with dolls and doing everything people did not want me to do because they wanted me to play sports and be very male. But I came to the world just identifying as female, and I had to take steps to become what I wanted to be. It didn't come naturally to me.
MJ?
But Storm, you hit it right on the button too. How can you become something that you did not see when we're here first? You see what is a woman, what is a female? If we weren't here, how would you identify yourself?
Right.
That'd make everything, and I don't know why people get so mad. And if in these talks can help people where no one's mad, because I feel like they are erasing women. I literally looked at a something on the internet where it said mother. They crossed it out and called us a breeding parent. That is the most disgustingest thing that I ever seen in my life.
Right. Wow.
Like they're really trying to erase a woman. If it wasn't for a woman, no one will be here. Just like as a man, no one would be here. We will not be here. So that is a real woman. We bear children. We hold children. We mess up our bodies. We go through postpartum. We go through a lot. So for someone to sit there and try to erase us, that's a shame.
And for the record, there are some women who can't have children either. That does not take away they're a woman. They just can't have children. I have an aunt who couldn't have children. She was still a woman, honey, and she still has a fab shape. So they try to make that argument, well, just because I can't have a baby doesn't mean I'm not a woman. But there's women who can't have children. And I think what Merjhani is saying is so impactful. it takes a man and a woman to create life, and it's okay to be a man, it's okay to be a woman, it's okay to be trans in our country. Some countries it's not, but in our country, the continental US, it's okay. And we got to get away from that aggression. This is the greatest country in the world, the United States. Have we gotten weak? What is going on?
Yeah.
Rajee?
Well, okay, so I totally agree. My mother carried me for 9 months and, had me. It took my mother and father to make me. And I am in full agreement of that. And that whole thing of like erasing women, I love and respect my mother and the women that helped to raise me. And so, I honor that. I also think that in nature, things happen in nature. Like even if you look at like creatures in nature, there are trans creatures. Like a worm is male and female together. The oyster is male and female together. There's some fish that there's actually one fish, and I can't remember the name of the fish, but during its lifespan, it turns from one gender to the other gender. So it exists in nature, hence we exist, right? So I think what's happening now in the world is, for so long, people tried to beat us down because we were born into life the way we are. And so now we finally get a little bit of rights, and there's a backlash happening where in this country, they're trying to take those rights back. And so it's this fine line between our dignity and our civil rights and honoring who we are. However, not erasing what a woman, a cisgendered woman is, and how a cisgendered woman contributes to the society. And the truth be told, I mean, hell, our fathers didn't have much to do with the procreation. I mean, in most cases, their part was very pleasurable. And after that seed is fertilized, then it's up to the mother to carry that baby for 9 months, to get that baby out of her, then to nurture that baby. There's a whole thing to womanhood, and it should be honored. And that's the problem with the world, because there's a thing called misogyny, and even men, cisgendered heterosexual men, in many ways have tried to suppress women and keep them down. And I never could understand that, because if you look at some cultures around the world, women are very suppressed. They can't drive, they can't, do certain things.
And that's why I said we had our fight too, to get to this, to the point. So you said it perfectly at the beginning. Like, if I had to say those words, you expressed it down to the key. And I don't think nobody can explain that better than anything.
Yeah. And the reality is, everyone has a place in life. Like, we're all born into life. We all have a divine purpose here, despite how we identify and, who we are and all of that. So, but yeah, I noticed that. I was like, wait a minute, these men that are like suppressing these women, they don't think, oh, wait a minute, I came out of a woman. Like, my mother raised me and, nurtured me. Because really, when it comes down to it, the procreation process is really, I would say 90% on the woman, at once the egg is fertilized. So yeah, definitely.
So I just want to ask, Merjhani, tell us some of your experiences as a young girl. You and I grew up on the same block. I feel like Jennifer Lopez, we from the block, you know what I'm saying? I'm still Jenny from the block. We actually grew up together in the downtown area of the Capital Region. I know a lot of your male cousins. I lived around the corner. You were close friends with my sister/cousin. And you have little girl experiences. Tell us a little bit about your life and And you're a mother, if we can say that. Tell us about motherhood
Well,
and why it's important to let the world know that you are a woman and you exist.
yeah, growing up, when I was born in a 2-parent household, married and all that, kind of strict rules, growing up, as a woman, all we were was being sexualized, everywhere. I've been bullied being a woman, being suppressed by men, what we should be as women. And it was kind of hard. I've been through things that most of all young kids been through with, sexually assaulted. And it's just we fought a lot from where we were back then to now. Women, we got the most, high raised jobs now than men. But I still like to be a woman. I don't want to be hard. I like to let the man lead. So, I had my fair shares up and down.
And that's very important, the idea of being submissive. And that's where it gets tricky sometimes with some of these trans people. No offense, Rajee, you said it before, men in dresses and things like that. Like I just want to say this, and I might lose fan base. When I transition and it touches my soul, I remember my hormone doctor. She said to me, she gave me my hormones, but she held it. And she was just kind of like, here's your hormones. And when I went to get it, she kind of pulled it back and she said, you're now a woman. I'm helping you be you. So you have to help us and support us. And the way she said it, she was so sincere. Like she was granting me to be a woman, giving me my hormones. And that impacted me forever. And I was like, you got it, girl. I'm going to walk with women. I'm going to support women. And I think because I had that impactful moment, that helped me to bridge the gap. And I've always hung around women and supported women. Not that I'm not pro being trans. I mean, girl, you can't get any more trans, honey. Look at, I'm hot, girl. But no, besides that, I just have always supported women, included women. I think women have always felt, I don't want to say intimidated, but welcoming. So I bring that up because women help us trans women to be better women. And if we could bridge that gap and unify more, work together more in business and film, why is it also that sometimes we don't have enough trans representation in film and in television? And that's why I love, our platforms, because we're able to get more unique and what's the word I want to say? We're able just to get viewed more and get out there is basically what I'm saying. And visibility, that's the word. Thank you, girl.
A lot of things come from the media with bad apples. That's why.
Yeah.
It's the bad apple.
Yeah.
And then when you get the bad apples, it's always people from the background that be like, oh, girl, we're going to have your back, but I'm going to tell you later that you're wrong. No, tell them right then and there. And that's why we got these things going on right now. Because I'm going to tell my friend right then and there, you wrong. You wrong. But it's always, oh no, like for example, a trans woman can trick a dude, tie him up, everything. Oh, they should have knew oh, he's just gay. He's just gay. No, there's real stories out there. And what is it called? When they trick, there's a word for it.
Stunt. They're stunting.
Yes. So if it wasn't, then why is it in the vocabulary? But then when that happens, Mel, it's always, oh, they knew. Like, Come on. Sometimes they do know.
Yeah, right.
But
Sometimes they do.
don't.
Yeah.
And then, but the overall, if you see the internet, it just digs at it, and then you wonder why the person snaps and do the old crazy okey doke stuff. So yeah,
Well,
we
and
just
yeah,
find a medium.
yeah, it's a lot. I think it's kind of rooted too in like being able to honor everyone for where they're at, like you know, respect and honoring people for where they're at. And you know, a lot of guys that mess with us trans women, they do it on the DL, and with the fear of that truth coming out, and that's like a big reality. I would say probably 80%. 80% they know what's up and they actually want it. But because they're living double lives, or, you know, hey, I don't even know if it's correct to call it double life, because I know a lot of the men that I date, they like trans women and they like cisgendered women. They like both, you know, so yeah.
It was
so
a movie out that just came out with I forgot what it was called, but it was a movie with like 3 clips of how it went. And I love that they did that, because it does go each scenario. And I'm glad that they didn't leave that other, you know, the other scenario out. You know, they had one scenario when they knew that it was down low and they played it off. And then they had one where he didn't know, because she blindfolded him. She always was like, I'm on my period. Can't do this. We can't do that. And I'm just glad that that came out. You know what I'm saying? It's just not one-sided either, or it's just not that, you know?
Yeah. And you know, for me, I've never done that to a guy. I mean, I don't know if I'm really passable. I mean, maybe in some eyes, some people would say so. I always felt like I don't think I look like a man in a dress, but I think that, you know, 9 out of 10 will know that I'm a transgender woman. And
Yes.
so, but I had some incidents when I was in my 20s where I assumed the guy knew and he didn't know.
Yes.
And, you know, it could have turned into a really bad situation, but luckily they were both nice about it. One was still down, the other wasn't.
Yes.
But you know, since that time, I never assume, because it is a matter of integrity and being real about who you are. There's plenty of men that like us. So I don't have to lie.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't have to lie about who I
Yes.
am. You know, I am who I am, and either you like it or you don't like it.
Yes.
But I want to speak to something that Storm said about oh Lord. See, honey, I'm having a senior moment. It just went right out my head. Okay, it'll come back to me.
So, ladies, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson has been officially sworn in as the newest Supreme Court judge. A question was asked: define a woman. Justice made that statement: I'm not a biologist. She was unable to answer the question. MJ, did that hit home for you? Being a woman of color, hearing a woman of color saying that she couldn't answer what a woman was. I secretly kind of gagged. I was like, girl, now you don't know what a woman is. You're a biologist. I mean, I get it. Like, you're on this world stage and you want to be presentable. But that's a simple question. And I don't know if it's far right or if they're right, or far left and if they're left, or flip flop or whatever it is. I know that I'm Republican and I've been honest about that. And some people will say, but you're trans and you're Republican. Well, I'm for the state and for the union of my country and for business. And I'm for financial security, and I'm for police because I've been assaulted. I'm for military. The spending budget now, that's out of my control. And I may not agree with that, but I'm for the structure of my country. So yes, but I don't feel that my position in my political party makes me lose common sense. I can still identify what a woman is. What did you think when you heard that, MJ, when she said that?
I actually was fiberglass. I was just like, what? Like, how did you even get into office if you can't identify what a woman is? Actually, I just laughed at it. I wasn't even mad because, people do dumb stuff in this world. But for her being the color that she is and the things that we had to go through, she should have spoke her mind, but I think that she didn't because she didn't want to be viewed a certain way.
And what way was that? Her party, maybe she didn't want to upset the party, or viewed what way?
The party, just everything, just to keep votes in. I don't know. I don't even care about these politics anymore.
What did you think, Rajee?
I think that she was trying to be politically correct.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I think she was trying to honor people's identity. And if she probably felt coming out and giving a blanket statement of a definition of a woman would offend the transgender community. So I feel like she was trying to keep us in regard because she didn't want to just make a blanket statement about it. And that's my opinion. I think she was just trying to honor people in the way they identify themselves and also be politically correct.
Yeah,
I agree. A woman is an adult female. An adult female, whether you're trans or a biologically born woman, a woman is an adult female, and it doesn't have to go into the tiny little crosshairs of, I don't know, I just think people are too sensitive. Everyone gets trying to assassinate people because they don't agree with how they feel.
I also think it's a little silly to be so politically correct that we can't face reality too. I think that's a bit much because no shade.
She don't want to get canceled.
Wait a minute, no shade. Back in the days, a lot of the trans that I knew, and they were bodied out. Girl, they didn't want to be a woman. They liked being a transsexual trans woman. They liked the extra. They would say, "Oh, I don't want to be fish. I live to be." So I think it's the new generation. It's the new girls. It's the new era because a lot of the girls from my era didn't necessarily care so much about being a woman. They wanted to be. My girlfriend, Mother Kelly, who did some of my work, God bless the dead, she used to be like, "Honey, I'm transsexual. I got body, honey." She wanted to be that. A lot of the girls from my era didn't even necessarily care whether you knew that they were a transsexual because they knew that and they were okay with that. I think it's the new generation. We didn't want to switch it and say, well, I'm a woman and everybody has, we paid it. A lot of us was like, "Buddy, you can't tell that it's woman." It's the new, I'm lost. I'm still trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah, well, okay, so I think too that the reality is us keeping our plumbing puts us in a elite category. There's plenty of cisgendered women in the world. There's plenty of cisgender women, but we trans women are a little more exclusive when you're a pre-op or non-op trans woman. That's the reality.
Because it's rare.
Exactly. Because you can find a cisgendered woman anywhere. But and I think that kind of puts us in a different zone or on another level.
Yeah, actually, just like that movie I was discussing, where they actually said, "I don't want to change it because we get more money like this," or stuff like that. Men enjoy us more like that than actually taking their stuff off.
Well, there are guys that will not. I mean, I don't know if you all saw Pose, but in Pose, there was a storyline that when one of the characters had the bottom surgery, her boyfriend broke up with her because he's like, "Oh, wait a minute." The whole point was that the 2-in-1 type of situation. So
yeah.
So I have a statement. This is an open discussion. If we erase sex in the terms of identity to become a world of gender expression, could that open the door? And this is a big topic, viewer discretion advised. If we erase gender or sex and we become a world of just gender expression, could that open a door to pedophilia and other sexual predatory events? Could this open the door to sexual crimes? There's this new thing called transabled, where a person feels they should have been born disabled. And there's a story, it's a little crazy. She wanted to be disabled, so she poured bleach in her eyes to make herself go blind so she could be disabled. She's transabled. Could this gender, all these new waves, the erasing of a woman or sex, period, could that open the door to other issues, such as someone saying, well, I'm trans youth. I'm a young person trapped in an old person's body. I should be able to date that 18-year-old, 17-year-old. Could this open the door to a whole new event of things?
I mean, that's what's happening right now, honestly. But I think that's more of a mental issue. I think that's more of a mental issue. Even with the girl that you just said that poured the bleach in the eye, that been happening for a long time, where people like try to act like they're sick and all of that stuff. That's like mental issues. But yeah, it will open up a lot of stuff, honestly.
I personally think with everything comes like possibilities of things happening, like even with the internet and our technology. Well, you know, when I grew up, we didn't have any of this. Okay, so now we have this, and because of it, we can do wonderful shows like this, but it also has a negative element to it. So there's good and bad. But I want to address the pedophilia thing. Listen, I think that thing has existed since the beginning of time. And who are normally pedophilia? Who is normally a pedophile? It is a cisgendered heterosexual male. That's why you have so many lawsuits against the Catholic Church, because the priests were molesting the little boys, the altar boys, and the coaches were molesting the boys on their team. You know, when you look at, if you statistically sat down and looked at the pedophilia and the people that have been Lord, I'm getting confused with that word, that have been how would you say it?
Pedophile.
A pedophile. Yeah, that have been a pedophile. 9 out of 10 are going to be identifying as heterosexual cisgendered men. Okay, so I don't think that really is going to affect our community too much, because how many trans women do you find being accused of pedophilia? I mean, really, how many trans women do you find that happens?
Right.
I think you could probably count it on one hand.
So I don't think that she was actually going for the just because of the trans woman. I think she was just going overall as an open book, because there's now everybody can just be who they want. Not just
we have fuzzies. There's a big thing with the fuzzies. Like, I'm a fuzzy. And I said, like, could that actually be like real? Can you go to work as a fuzzy? Can you go shopping as a fuzzy? Can you, like, there's a lot of stuff. And I do think mental health plays a part into this, because a lot of us girls, especially from the older generation, we had to go through extensive mental health therapy. I believe the proper term is psychotherapy. And we had to do that for a year to 2 years and then take our hormones and transition. Yes, some girls did it through the streets because they may have not had insurance or knowledge of how to properly transition. But legally, to get your name changed and things of that nature and surgeries, you definitely had to go through those channels. And some stuff is out there. I don't want to put the stamp and say it's mental health, but there is some stuff that's out there.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see. I totally get it. I see where you're going with this. And one thing that comes to mind is the shooter in Chicago, dressed up as a woman I don't know if you all saw that.
No.
You
Is you
didn't
talking
see
about
that.
the sniper?
The sniper.
Yes, I
Dressed
heard
up
about it.
as a woman to blend into the crowd. So I see what you're saying, where it could open a lot of doors. And I mean, when I saw the picture of him dressed as a woman, I mean, really, I was like, wow. And he did blend in. I mean, he looked pretty good, but he's not trans. He used that as a disguise.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. Mhm.
Just
That was
like
last
almost-
weekend. Mhm.
Just like almost like how they say with the a male or trans going into a female jail, and you see what's going on, that the trans is getting the woman pregnant and stuff like that. Now a man could say, I'm a female, knowing that they're not trans, just to be in a female thing. See, it does open up a lot of things. But
That's
those are the bad
crazy.
apples. But those are the bad apples.
Well, you know what? What will solve that is, if you're trans, you have to be in the trans exclusive area. Because that would stop that right away. Like,
Yeah.
if they just segregated us into our own little area, then I think that would stop that. But yeah, you're right. It's like with everything comes the pros and the cons.
The cons.
It really does.
I think that we all should respect each other on how they identify themselves, but I don't think that everybody should be so sensitive on an opinion. Everyone has an opinion, and everybody should respect their opinion. And that's it.
We would not be the greater United States if we couldn't respect our opinions. Our whole government is based on that. Democrats, Republicans, independent party. We all have an opinion of how the world goes, and we need to have a balance of power, and there needs to be a balance of society as well. And we're going to end it there. Thank you for watching Panel of Women. Good to see you, everyone. Thank you.
Yes.